Okay, so if you're in the front office, you know you are on the front line. But what if I told you that the most important moment of your entire shift happens before you even say hello to your first guest? Seriously, the success of your day really hinges on one single critical procedure, the handover. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to master it.
So let me just ask you this. What do you think is the single most important moment of your shift? Is it that first big check-in, or maybe handling a VIP arrival? What about resolving a really tough complaint? Well, the answer, it might surprise you.
It's the moment before all those other moments. You know, the most pivotal part of your day is actually the shift takeover. This is where you set the stage, it's where you gather all your intel, and really prepare yourself for everything the next few hours are going to throw at you.
Okay, let's really get into this because the stakes are super high. On one side, you've got a bad handover, and that just creates chaos. You're basically flying blind, you've got information gaps, and that leads directly to guest complaints and just total operational confusion. But a good handover, well, that's a different story. That's where you get smooth communication, happy guests, and a team that just works together like a well-oiled machine. It is literally the difference between constantly putting out fires and just flawlessly doing your job.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. First up, the handover itself. I want you to stop thinking of this as just some routine. It's not. It's the essential communication bridge that connects your shift to the next.
Your professionalism, it starts the second you walk through that door. So arrive on time, looking sharp and ready to go. Your first stop should always be the notice boards. See what's new. Then the team briefing. This is absolutely non-negotiable. And finally, the cornerstone of the whole thing, reading and signing that logbook.
You know, you should really think of the logbook as the central nervous system of the entire front office. It's not just a bunch of notes, it's a living document that holds every single piece of critical info you need to make sure there's a seamless continuation of service.
Now, when you're looking at the logbook, you're not just skimming it, you are actively hunting for things. You're looking for any unusual events, any guest complaints that still need to be resolved, pending requests, you're flagging situations that need a follow-up, you're noting all the VIPs and group movements, and you're tracking any room moves, credit issues, or mail that's waiting. This is basically your treasure map for the shift ahead.
So once you've absorbed everything in the logbook, it's time to arm yourself with the hard data. This next phase is all about gathering the reports that give you that complete top-down view of the day's operations.
Okay, time to print your key reports. You're going to start with pending traces. Think of this as your to-do list. Then get your arrivals and departures list so you know exactly who's coming, who's going, and who needs that special touch. And then there are two more critical ones. The room discrepancy report, we'll get to that in a sec, and a fresh emergency report. That's your safety net if the system ever goes down.
I really want to pause here for a second because the importance of this next one just cannot be overstated, the room discrepancy report. This document, this is your single source of truth for the status of every single room in the hotel.
So why is this one report so absolutely, non-negotiably critical? I mean, what happens when what your system says is the status of a room doesn't actually match the reality on the ground? Well, the consequences can be immediate and pretty severe.
And here they are, the two worst-case scenarios. On one side, you have a massive service failure. You send a brand new guest to a room that's already occupied. It's incredibly embarrassing and a huge headache for the guest. On the other side, you've got a direct hit to the wallet. A perfectly clean, vacant room doesn't get sold because the system thinks it's occupied or dirty. Both of these disasters are completely avoidable with this one report.
All right, you've got the intel, you've got the data. Now it's time to seal the deal. These final steps of the handover are all about the physical and financial checks that make that transfer of responsibility official.
Look, a smooth shift needs more than just information. You need your tools ready to go. Do a quick physical check of your station. Are the registration cards printed for the arrivals? Do you have enough key cards ready? Is there paper in the printer? Is the desk tidy? Are all your supplies stocked up? Simple stuff, but it makes a huge difference.
And now for the final sign-off. This is where accountability gets real. You personally verify the cash float and document the handover. You check the key inventory. And only when you are 100% satisfied that everything is accounted for do you sign that logbook and officially take command of the shift.
So we've walked through all the steps, but I want to end by talking about what this process really stands for. Because a great handover, it's so much more than just a checklist. It's a true mark of professionalism.
Let me give you a perfect, real-world example of how one tiny detail can change everything. So, in a bad handover, a small note in the logbook about a VIP's severe feather allergy gets missed. That guest gets a room with feather pillows, and it leads to a medical issue and a huge complaint. But
In a good handover, that same note is read, the team jumps on it, the pillows get swapped out, and that guest has a safe, perfect stay. That is the power of doing this right.
At the end of the day, a professional takeover isn't just about making your own shift easier. It's really about something bigger. It reflects teamwork, it shows accountability, and it proves a commitment to delivering consistent, excellent service to every single guest on every single shift.
A proper handover really does set the tone for everything that comes after. So the question I'm going to leave you with is this: how are you going to make your next shift handover a true foundation for excellence?